guess it's my turn next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To not need a man, I feel like I kind of talked about that with the last example. I kind of feel like I put all four into my last statement when we talked about it. But I mean, overall, like Lance said, it really is just thinking about way past yourself. And so I do believe, though, my first thought immediately was just thinking about what's being pushed in the media. For a lot of women, like, we think that it is just, oh, well, you know, if we can make ourselves work for X amount of dollars, like, you know, we're going to be fine. But like he said, there comes a sense of protection too. There's only as much as we possibly can protect ourselves as women, you know what I mean? And like I said, just in the house that I was raised in, it's like my dad was the one that he was the protection. My grandfather was protection, my brother protection. It's just knowing him, and this is still to this day kind of rubs me the wrong way, just thinking about this comment a gentleman made towards us in the gym in regards to Lance and knowing where he was financially at the time. But the gentleman just said, he was like, well, look at him, like, he's big, he got muscles, like, it makes sense while she's with you. And I was like, how disrespectful. Like, that's rude. But I mean, in a sense, I see where he was coming from, but then there's more that meets the eye. Obviously, you know, the gentleman didn't really know him very well, but to see from just the external factor, yes, that is a reason why I would want to be with somebody, like, knowing that they at least have the physical attributes that if I could not physically protect myself, God willing, he would be the one that could step in and do something about it. So I think that kind of just needs to balance out in some shape or form. But I see it's really the media that's pushing for women to think that they can handle everything on their own when it's not true. You know, they'll be the first one to say, you know, oh, I don't understand why this happened. Well, it's like, hey, you know, not say it's always us, yeah, but sometimes it could be, did you put yourself in the right environment or the right circumstances? Sometimes, you know, you got to think a little bit through a brain cell, like I like to say. So that's my take on it.
Okay, yeah, what do you think about?
Well, if there's no difference between men and women, then you should go to the female boxing, female MMA, female weightlifting, and tell all the ladies. I'm not even going to put the men in the sport. I'm just going to say, tell all the ladies that there's no problems with steroids. Everybody can take steroids because testosterone doesn't do anything different to your body. And it doesn't have any dramatic effects on the body. It doesn't make you stronger, faster. Doesn't do any of that. It doesn't make your bones more dense. It just does nothing, right? And so we know that's not true, right? And so we say, so if a woman's found out for taking steroids in a physical sport, or even just in track, it's going to be a problem. They're going to say, no, you can't do that. That is cheating, because now you have an advantage. You know, you're going to be faster than you would normally be without all that testosterone pumping through your body. So, you know, but to go back to a woman needing a man, I mean, I kind of want to talk about the whole, you know, the man saying to y'all, look at him, he's muscular and such. But it's funny because though that is a very superficial thing to say, you know, there's all these studies going on right now, and you know, humans, animals alike, and they notice that females in nature, period, do like, especially in mammals, do like to be with someone who is bigger than them. They call it the bodyguard hypothesis, which just means that she feels safer around somebody who's at least a little bit taller and a little bit stronger. And if she can get somebody a lot taller and a lot stronger, or one or the other, she's going to go for it. And this is why you see women aim for guys who are bigger. Like me and my wife, we joke about it all the time, but you know, she's like, why do really, really short women go for NBA players? What about the women who are really tall? They need the NBA players, right? So, but the reality is that, you know, they just, you know, they do want to, it's perfectly okay for a woman to want to feel safe. And we got to get back to that. And that's why I am fully 1,000% good with women carrying weapons. I'm also good with women learning mixed martial arts, because the world is not always safe. And the reality is a man can't always be next to his wife. This isn't, you know, we aren't hunter gatherers. We aren't in tribes where everybody is close by. People are literally traveling 20, 30 miles every day apart from one
Yeah.
another. And so I do believe women need a second, pair of defense, and a gun does equal the playing field. Right? I would say so myself. So I think women are always going to need men. And I
Yeah.
think men are always going to need women.
Yep.
And I think women have and I spoke to my wife about this before, I think women have a higher biological value. And all I mean by that is when you look at what makes a male and a female, it's just sex cells, meaning gametes, meaning sperm and egg.
Yep.
Men make millions upon millions of sperm.
Mm-hmm.
Women do not make millions upon millions of eggs, which makes the eggs actually, if anybody's familiar with, just market and money and finances, right? If there's like they call them, excuse my language, everybody, I'm just going to say the term. They call them shit coins, right? And cryptocurrency. Those are the coins that there's like 1 trillion of them. People pump them up, get paid from them, and then dip out. And then you got stuff like Bitcoin, and there's not a lot of them out there. And so one, it could be worth $50,000.
Right.
And so that's from a reproductive stance, that's how women stand. But because women are so valuable and they carry the reproductive burden, it makes men so important. Because women, no way around it. If you want to survive beyond your physically, beyond your body and your spirit on earth, you're going to have to make children.
Yep.
Right. And you're going to have to carry them children. Those children are going to be around you. You're going to have to breastfeed them children, possibly, maybe not. Right. And so it's a man's job in nature. I don't care if you believe in God or not. If you just look around, it is a man's job to protect the woman and the children because they are more vulnerable than him. And therefore, they are more valuable because children are the future and women are the ones who create the future in their bodies and carry them for 9 months. And so women can't get around that. Now, birth control and abortion changed things up a bit. It has. It's changed the dynamic between men and women up a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But no matter what, to this day, it's going to go back to being married to a man. You're going to be better off than being promiscuous and having children. I'm not coming at anybody who has children by many fathers. I understand how things can happen. That's why we have this channel.
Right.
But there is going to be a difference between the two women, right? Opposed to the woman who's married to one man and a woman who's had children by many men. And those children are going to have different outcomes than that other family's children. Speaking as a school teacher in an urban area, I'm telling you, the smartest kid in the class is really the child who's from a nuclear family, who has a bunch of support, who has resources, and the kid who's doing, or the worst kid in school, go check his house, go check his mom, check what he's eating during the day.
Yep.
Right.
Facts.
And so,
Facts.
there's no way around this stuff, and so most independent women, unfortunately, end up in these very low resourced communities. And it's kind of like downhill from there.
Yep.
So.
It's legitimately destroy the best way to control the society is destroy the family. You know? So if the one thing that makes America great compared to different countries is the power of the family. I mean, in other countries, you have to be forced to be married. A lot of women don't have a lot of rights and stuff like that, but that's their culture, their culture. So I mean, the fact that we have the freedoms we have here, whether some people don't believe it or not, imagine going out there and I want to date such and such, but you forced to date such and such, But here it's because we become too, what's that word I'm looking for? Entitled. There we go. Becoming entitled, like we can do what we want. We took the First Amendment to the next level, and now it's causing a higher risen of single parent households. I mean, I think 70% just in the Black community is single parent household is raising up another community. I think in the whites it's 55, and other ones is raising. But going back to you being a teacher, there was a story in Baltimore, or Baltimore, I guess that's the right way to say it, that a young man it was a single mom and she had 3 kids. This young man GPA was a 0.13 something, and he was in the middle of his class. So, when we look at
academic wise.
Yeah, so he was the middle of the class, but yet we say, oh, let's give money. Oh, let's incentivize bad behavior. Well, my mom, she was a single parent of 1, but she was at my school. She participated in parent teacher. She was always around. She was an A student, so education for her, was everything. But I think, and we was having a conversation with somebody else, and my mom, now this may sound, it's not crazy. I'm like, how they say some people are pro-choice and pro-life, right? You could be pro-life with having a child, but you could be choice of who you actually have the child with. If you're going to sleep with somebody, and they ain't S word, or or if they ain't nothing, then why would you choose to sleep with this person? But I think even in where you from, women are told, oh, I want the dog, I can control the dog, I want the bad boy, you know what I'm saying? So if you have a good guy, what they say, nice guys finish last, but then again, those are the ones you want, because they're going to actually treat you with some decency and respect. So it's I kind of combine all 3. But if you love yourself, then you will actually love somebody else. But because you don't love yourself, but you want to over exaggerate, showing, oh, I love no, you don't. It's just all for the gram. It's all for the book. It's all for that. So that's my 2 minute. So
yeah.
No.
Yeah, Heem, and what do you think about that? Also, before you go, I wanted to see if you had any thoughts on why do these women feel like men are just gonna leave them? Like, is there something going on with the women that, or is there something going on with the men that's like, okay, why don't you want us? Or, why are you leaving us?
Yeah, I think it's mainly because 50% of women today don't really come from a household with mom and dad. So if I haven't seen it, I don't believe it. Is the way a lot of them are. It's like, I've never seen, someone take care of my mother, right? I never seen someone last until they die in a marriage, right? So they're like, I'm not even going to fool myself. Before I even get my hopes up, let me just correct this now, right? Because most of the time, people don't know it, and there's another thing me and my wife talk about a lot, is you have until your child is 7 years old to establish base reality. This is a psychological fact. Base reality for them is established between the ages of 0 in the womb and 7 years old.